I have avoided giving presentations for most of my working life. I always felt that some people were good at it, smart and interesting, while others, including me, just didn't have much to say. But a few years ago, my boss asked me to give a presentation about our online program in front of a group of senior learning managers. Sure, no problem, I said, as I immediately broke out into a cold sweat. So there I was, the night before the presentation, completely freaking out in spite of a ridiculous amount of time I'd spent preparing. I stopped. I said to myself, you have to do this. This moment will decide whether you continue to advance or get stuck where you are in your career, succeed or regret it for the rest of your life. This was the moment I realized I had to confront and overcome my fear of presenting. You might be wondering how it went. It was fine, maybe even great. I was still a nervous wreck, but with good preparation and a ton of determination, I was able to channel that nervous energy into an informative and entertaining talk. After that, I became an earnest student of public speaking. How do we identify our strengths and weaknesses, work to improve, grow our skills in spite of our anxieties, and learn to effectively present our messages? It's vitally important to reach the next step in just about any career, whether you want to be an electrical foreman, a manager, or a CEO. We all have presentation skills. We do. We all have some ability, strengths with public speaking. I believe we simply need to throw off those glasses, rip off that boring three-piece suit, and unleash our unique inner public speaking superhero. So, where do you start? And how can you improve your presentation skills in just over 6 minutes? Well, my first tip to you is when you're beginning to outline your content, get the heck away from your PowerPoint. Go off and think. Identify what your objectives are, what the messages are that you want to convey, and then think creatively about how to do that. If you start with your slide deck, you'll find yourself using PowerPoint as a crutch. Your slides should simply serve as a visual aid to your content. And as long as we're talking about PowerPoint, if you're not already, become a student of how to improve your presentation visuals. PowerPoint isn't bad, only its users are. It can assist your presentation in amazing ways if you understand it. David J.P. Phillips gave a great TED Talk about some pretty magical and easy ways to use PowerPoint to enhance rather than detract from your presentation. Now back to your content. How do you create memorable content? In Made to Stick, Dan and Chip Heath introduce a 5-point plan for developing an unforgettable presentation. Keep your message simple. Surprise with the unexpected. Illustrate with concrete examples. Add credibility with research. Never underestimate the power of emotion. And finally, use stories whenever you can. Do you ever get nervous when presenting? Do you want to know the secret to stop feeling nervous? Just get over yourself and realize it's not about you. Yes, people will judge you, but they don't really care. They care about what they're getting from the experience. Look in their eyes, focus on them and the important message you are sharing with them, and your nerves will melt away. A mirror neuron is a neuron that fires both when an animal acts and when the animal observes the same action performed by another. The neuron mirrors the behavior of the other as though the observer were acting themselves. This is powerful for you as a presenter. When you tell an emotional story, your audience will experience your emotions and go on an adventure with you. Video yourself and self-critique. Video will show you what the audience really sees. Repetitive tics, weird body language, and those strengths you didn't realize you had. Pull out your phone, video yourself, watch it, take notes, work your weak areas. Do more of what you do great. Practice and re-record yourself and witness your amazing transformation. We all know we need to cut out ums and ahs, but there's a lot more weak language we use to dilute our messages. We all started learning weak language as teens, right? Oh my God! And like, I know, right? But then we went to college or entered the workforce and we learned a better form of weak language. Basically, literally, corpse speak and all kinds of filler phrases we use to dilute our messages. If you really want to cut out your weak language, here's an exercise. Take your favorite drink, your coffee, soda, whatever you like, pour out half of it and fill the other half with water. Carry this around with you, and whenever you catch yourself using words or phrases that dilute your message, take a drink. A week of this exercise will transform your language. Our body language can reveal our nervousness, our awkwardness, and also our amazingness. In her book, Presence, Amy Cuddy explains a huge body of research which suggests that not only do we affect communication with others through body language, but that our body language can shape how we feel about ourselves and whether or not we succeed. She evangelizes that everyone should do a 2-minute power pose each and every day. So body language isn't just about posture and power, it's also about using your body and the space you have as a tool to convey and enhance your message. Use your body to create different characters, show your characters' communication with each other, show movement in your explanations, and use bold movements and your whole range to reach your entire audience, not just those in the front row. Should you have a loud, resonant voice to be a great presenter, or a soft whisper? High or low-pitched? Yes, yes, and yes. The best presenters are able to use the entire range of their voice as an instrument. How do you do this? Practice! Breathe, open your mouth, change your pitch, change your volume, and hold their attention with silence. We mentioned the power of stories earlier, but how do you develop a good story? Start by setting a scene. It was a dark and stormy night. Next, describe and develop your characters. Joe, who always had a sparkle in his eye and ready to tell you a joke. Use your space to help you tell the story. Mark spaces in your story by moving across the room. Finally, always keep it short and concise. Great presenters demand feedback. While watching your videos is a great tool, you can only improve so much on your own. Cultivate colleagues and friends you respect and most importantly trust, and demand their feedback about your presentations. Don't let them get away with giving you just positive feedback either. Demand at least one suggestion for improvement. So let's summarize what we talked about today. Create content away from your PowerPoint. Make your stories sticky and memorable. Concentrate on your audience, not yourself. Make your audience feel what you feel. Cut out weak language. Powerful body language will help you become a powerful presenter. Use your vocal range, your body, and your stage as tools for getting your important messages across. Don't blame PowerPoint. Learn to use it more effectively. Tell stories to build context and understanding whenever you can. And finally, great presenters demand both good and bad feedback. Practice, be brave, and unleash your public speaking superhero.